Hello everyone, welcome to LaExcellence IAS. In this video, we are going to discuss the strategy session for the Ex Shiksha test number 11. And before going into this today's strategy session, we wanted to inform the students, those who are interested in Ex Shiksha 2.0 can join this program. We have given the detailed Google form list as well as the schedule of this Ex Shiksha 2.0 program in the description. You can go through that. And those of you who are interested in the program can subscribe this. In addition, we are also coming out with a scholarship test for this Shiksha 2.0 program. So students, those of you who are interested in getting concession for the particular program like Shiksha 2.0 can also subscribe to this program. Now, going into the test number 11, that is a week 11 schedule. So students here, they need to read from 28th of September to 2nd of October for this test. That is, we are giving 5 days to students to prepare for this test, and especially the syllabus for this test will be from your NCERT level, because we are moving stage by stage approach in this Ex Shiksha program. And for this particular test, you need to read the science NCERTs of 8th standard to 12th standard. We will see that. Before that, after reading this test, for this test for the 5 days, students need to take the test on 3rd of October, where the mains test will happen. And the prelims test is scheduled on 4th of October. Now going into the subject, as we discussed, this particular test focuses upon the science, mainly science component of your syllabus. And in this science component, you need to read especially the NCERT starting from 8th standard to 12th standard for this specific test. That is, the syllabus will majorly consist of basics and then biological classification, biotechnology. So in addition to that, students need to go through the important current affairs. This current affairs source will be, students will be shared the LAEX Spark magazine, monthly magazine, where the important current affairs issues of this June month have been listed. And students, while preparing for this test, need to remember that for the preliminary test once we are giving here, out of the 100 questions, 25 questions will be picked from current affairs, and in that particularly students need to read economics, international relations, social issues, geography and environment while reading for this current affairs segment. So as we have discussed already, the sources for this particular test number 11, students need to read the NCERT of standards 8th standard to 12th standard. And the current affairs component, so as we have discussed, the students can refer the LAEX Spark magazine, which is going to be suffixed to answer this test. So now we will try to see what are the most important chapters which students need to study while preparing for this NCERT, because the 8th standard NCERT here listed, here students need to go through most of the chapters, but there are some chapters which is given high priority in the UPSC Prelims as well as mains examination. So with that clarity, we will try to give you some tips regarding covering the most important chapters, so that students, when they come for the test as well as when they appear for the UPSC examination, they will get to know the most important topics which can be asked in the examination. That is, while reading the 8th standard NCERT, students can focus on the chapter number 1, that is crop production and management. So chapter number 1 is going to be very important. Again, microorganisms they can read. In addition to that, students can focus upon coal and petroleum, because the basics of various types of coal and where do they occur is always going to be important, not only for science as well as for your geography segment. Because when you read science NCERTs, you will be getting content for 50% content you will be getting for your environmental basics also. So that also we will try to say, because the science NCERTs is just not for science and tech, it also contains enough content for your geography, agriculture, environment, the components of your syllabus also. So students need to keep that in mind while preparing for the test. Then you can read the chapter number 5, because conservation of plants and animals again is very important for your environment and geographical syllabus. Now, so after reading this topic, students can go through the remaining topics which are given, especially the chapters such as light, sound should also be studied, where the basics can be, especially related to Doppler effect, those basics should be understood from this book. Now going into the 9th standard NCERT, again here there are few chapters which are more relevant for your UPSC prelims as well as mains examination. That is, with respect to science 9th standard NCERT, students need to read the most important chapters such as improvement in food resources, because in GS paper 3 for your main syllabus you have something called food processing industry. Again, agriculture and environment also, this particular topic is going to be very important. So you need to give maximum focus here. So after reading this, you can read the remaining topics, especially the forces and laws related to motion, gravitation, work and energy can also be read along with that. But the most important chapter in the 9th standard NCERT is the food resource, so that needs to be given maximum weightage. Now going into the 10th standard NCERT. Now going into the 10th standard NCERT, again in 10th standard NCERT, there are few chapters which are very important. That is, our environment, chapter number 3 is very, very important. Then when you read the light chapter, the most important difference concepts of reflection, refraction, total internal reflection should be studied from a clear perspective, because UPSC in the preliminary examination they will try to test the basic conceptual clarity here. So after reading this, you can focus upon the other chapters which are given here. Now going into the 11th standard NCERT, that is biology NCERT. Again here there are few chapters which are going to be very relevant for your prelims examination, especially this human physiology. While reading the human physiology, kindly note that here if they are asking you questions, that can be asked only for prelims examination and not for any mains examination. So while reading here, make sure that you try to remember the facts which are mentioned in this particular component of the syllabus. We can get maximum one question from this topic, 1 or 2. So for that understanding, it's better to revise these components, that is with respect to excretory system, circulation, lungs, neural control. All these chapters are going to be relevant. Suppose if the UPSC they wants to ask you some basic questions on general science. So kindly remember friends, when it comes to UPSC prelims, in this particular component, now UPSC has reduced the number of questions. Before they used to ask more number of questions from general science, but now the trend has changed. Now more questions are coming from science and technology component and not on general science. With that understanding, try to have a wider read on these chapters. That much is enough. Don't spend or waste too much time into these chapters. After covering this particular component of the syllabus, then students can venture into the other parts of the chapters. But here again, going into the other chapters does not make any sense when it comes to like syllabus component. So kindly give maximum weightage here, then you can read the remaining chapters. So now going into the 12th standard biology book, again here the most important chapter is unit number 10, which is going to be very much important for your environmental segment, because again for environment you don't need to do any extra study, provided you need to go only for textbook based knowledge. Before that, your NCERT itself will give conceptual clarity on the basis of ecology and ecosystem, and where UPSC has asked plenty lot of times questions from this chapter. So kindly read it here. And in addition to that, what students can do is they can read the biology, because when you read this biotechnology chapter in this biology book, again here biotechnology basics will also be asked in your mains examination. So keeping that in mind, make sure that you are reading it in a better manner. So chapter number 8 and chapter number 7 can also be read for your preliminary perspective. So with this approach, you can cover the 12th standard NCERT. Now coming to the most important component, that is the notes making process. Since the syllabus for this particular test is going to be very limited, in addition to that, when it comes to the notes making process, now students can give maximum weightage for the notes making when it comes to mains component of the syllabus. When it comes to prelims component, try to use a highlighter or mark the important points in the NCERT itself and try to have a revision, because that much is enough for you to clear the prelims examination. When it comes to mains, make sure that you have a very good notes which has a proper structure and usage of diagrams from NCERT, so that you can replicate in the real examination. And now going into the UPSC previous year trend analysis. See, there are few chapters as we have discussed here while reading the NCERTs which needs to be given high importance, and UPSC also plenty lot of times have asked questions from this topic. So to keep things very clear for you, we have given the previous year questions from 2021 where they have asked some questions on biotechnology. So make sure that while reading this 12th standard biology book on biotechnology, you come up with a very good notes so that you can answer these kind of questions. Even they have asked questions on space technology, nanotechnology. So, and even the latest, this question, Bose-Einstein hypothesis, this is asked purely from your current affairs. So what students need to keep in mind also when they prepare for this component of the test, in the real examination, most of your science and general science and science and tech questions will be picked from current affairs only, maximum, that is 85%, 90% will be from current affairs. And remaining 10% questions which they wanted to ask from your NCERTs, we have given you the most important chapters. So kindly try to have maximum revision of those chapters and come well prepared for this test, friends. Now going into the UPSC toppers copy analysis for this particular component of the test, that is toppers always they try to understand the question very clearly and they try to address the question, that is what is the requirement of the question, they try to do it in a very clear manner. This is something we need to learn from the previous UPSC toppers who have cleared the exam. And in addition, the structure of the question needs to be maintained properly. Make sure that you try to bring in varieties of examples, diagrams and data to support or to explain the concept which you want to convey to the examiner, because those are the things which will improve your uniqueness in your answer and make value addition to your marks also. So that is something you need to keep in mind, and we always keep telling to the students repetitively is that answers should contain proper subheading. Try to include subheadings directly from the questions only. Don't try to bring in your own subheadings. And in addition, whenever the question they are asking directives like discuss, make sure you address the directive in a comprehensive manner. We have already given a detailed explanation in our discussion videos how to approach these directives. So those of you who would have attended the particular discussion of the test will be aware that how to address these kind of directives. Make sure you work on this component, because many of the students are now writing with a very good structure and many of them are also drawing diagrams. But when it comes to addressing the directives and writing more examples, students are finding it difficult. So kindly make use of the LAEX value addition material which we have provided to you. So that will help you in this process. In addition, try to attend the discussion video of our test series also, because where we try to come up with points where students can brainstorm inside the exam hall in a easy manner. So you can do that. So make sure that your answer contains a proper introduction, conclusion, and the structure also is written in a point-wise manner. And make sure you write at least, that is, this topper has written for a 10 marker almost 9 points. Make sure you also contribute at least 7 to 10 points for a 10 marker question, so that the examiner will have more liberty to give you more marks in the exam. So these are small things which we can do to impress the examiner inside the exam hall. In addition to that, to get our marks extra, half mark to 1 mark extra from our competitors. I hope this session was very much useful to you. We'll meet again in the next strategy session for test number 12, friends. Thank you. Thanks for watching.